Jumbo Shalom. Blessings to you. So today I have one about human organs in a cargo ship that flooded social media. Right? So supposedly they seized over 7,200 cut off penises. Penises. Wow. So apparently they got the penises from Nigeria. Why Nigeria? I have no idea. Some articles suggest that maybe the infatuation with the black penis or it's a delicacy, maybe, but I'm getting somewhere. So the article published on March 19th has been since replicated in at least five websites focused on Nigerian audience. So I say that to say this. I'm not even sure if this story's real, this article's real or not, because some sources say this is fictional and just made up stuff to appeal to a Nigerian audience or to get attention on that. But I'll continue. Quote, hundreds of thousands of Nigerian penises are smuggled into China every year. Nigeria is the world's largest exporter of penises, and this is why kidnapping and ritual killings are rife there. End of quote. Quote, what do the Chinese do with these penises and why are they obsessed with Nigerian ones in particular? This is not a joke, but a serious question. End of quote. So, on one hand, it says that the Chinese customs officers seized 7,200 penises of African origin on a cargo ship from Nigeria. This article was read on March 19th, 2021, the World News Daily Report. Oh, also, I guess they kept them fresh by like putting them in the fridge, some type of cooling system in those boxes, supposedly. So the Chinese customs said that the picture used in the satire article was originally related to a story that saw Chinese authorities seizing parts of endangered pangolin, I believe I'm saying it correctly, on March 9, 2020. So the image search traced the image to four other China-based websites which had also reported on the endangered pangolin back in 2020. Apparently, it turned out that the Nigerian parliament members had merely fallen victim to the satire websites. Listen here, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just bringing the information to you, try. But to say that there's not organ trafficking and a high price of melanin, that would be false. If you see a lot of pop culture, the stuff you see in society, and how people really secretly envy darker skin, melanin, you can't tell me shit like this don't exist. Regardless if this article is accurate or correct, I think a lot of this shit takes place in a lot of those foreign countries and continents and shit like that. They're killing you and gunning for you because they want your melanin. They want your spot, but they don't want you here to reap any benefits in your spot. So once again, y'all be safe out there, family, and realize the power of your melanin and watch your surroundings, man. This story might not be right, but I guarantee you there's a lot of stories that's just like this shit around the world. Shalom, Baraka. Y'all be good. Y'all bless.
to investigate the illicit trade in human organs. The House knows that about 2 weeks ago, acting on information provided by an anonymous source, Chinese authorities seized a ship that sailed from Nigeria with 7,200 refrigerated penises, which were found in 36 boxes labeled as plantain on a ship that harbored at the Shanghai port. The House also notes that the Chinese General Administration of Customs had alerted that an increasingly large number of armed groups in Africa use human organs which are harvested in unsanitary conditions to finance their nefarious activities. The House recalls that the media was awash a few years ago with horrifying stories of the harvest of organs of Nigerians and other Africans stranded in Libya for sale in Europe, the Middle East, America, and China. The House are aware that the increasing cases of missing persons, ritual killings, and trafficking of persons out of the country may be linked to the red market, which can be attributed to the trafficking of young men and women who end up being victims of human organ harvesting. Aware also that the increased banditry, kidnappings, and spiraling violence in several parts of the country today make those parts of the country vulnerable and provide safe havens and ready supply channels for these illicit activities. Concerned that harvest of organs can only be done by medical personnel with the aid of rogue public officials. Also concerned that perpetrators of this illicit trade by the year 2009 were generating between $600 million to $1.2 million profit annually and have been encouraged by poor security situation to use the third world as major suppliers. Further aware that as early as 1987, the World Health Organization declared that the illegal trade violates the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and as well taking unfair advantage of the poorest and most vulnerable in the world. Cognizant that the international community has made efforts to curb the menace of the red market or trade in illicit organs, such as the Istanbul Declaration, which urged professionals to put an end to unethical actions where organs of unfortunate victims of economic migrations and human trafficking in Europe and the Middle East are ripped off, thereby constituting a gross abuse of their rights. Convinced that if nothing is done to curb this criminal act, more criminals will set up shops dealing in human organs in Nigeria, taking advantage of the current insecurity situation in the country. The House, therefore, resolves to mandate the Committees on Human Rights and National Security and Intelligence to investigate the whole gamut of this value chain known as red market or illicit market in human organs and report back to the House within 10 weeks for further legislative action. I so move. Honorable Speaker.
I was telling the mover of the motion that I watched a video clip last week wherein just the private parts were the ones serving one restaurant. I didn't want to believe it, that it was human private part that was being served until when I saw his motion. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. That's it.